Welcome one, welcome all. It's time for another exciting. Eso es exciting. No exciting, sino como si estuviera una K ahí. Exciting edition of the show with no name. Now hold on to your hats because it's time for liftoff.
8,
Come
7,
on.
6,
5,
5,
4, 3.
3,
Come on.
2, 1.
We got this.
0. Ignition.
Here we go.
Liftoff.
Yes.
Liftoff.
Yes.
30
Yes. Let's do this. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your
And
hats.
get ready for the ride of your life.
The show with no name time. On Vaughn Radio. It's the show with no name.
Come on. I can't hear you. Let's go, 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 go. Welcome, welcome, my amigos. It's the show with no name. This is Vaughn Radio. Welcome to all my show with no namers from all around the world. It is an honor and a pleasure to spend the next 2 hours with you folks. Con vosotros. Yeah. We're going to laugh. We're going to play. We're going to make some corny jokes. Yeah, chistes malos. Que no falten. And the most important thing is we're going to have a blast, right? To have a blast is another way of saying we are going to enjoy ourselves to the max. Al máximo. I've got a mosquito here. If you guys see me clapping, yes, I'm clapping for you, but I'm also clapping because I'm trying to kill this mosquito. Man, this bug is bugging me. Ya estamos con los chistes malos. Este bicho me está molestando. This bug is bugging me. Like Bugs Bunny, who's always bugging people. I love when people say, I hate to bug you. Siento molestarte. ¿Sabes lo que yo digo ahí? Well, then don't. If you hate to do it, and I don't like it, well, just don't do it. But it's a figure of speech. Es una forma de hablar, right? Es como cuando alguien te dice, can I ask you a question? I'm like, okay, but that's number 2. Ya me has hecho una. Oh, can I ask you a question is a question. Welcome, welcome, folks. A pleasure to be here with you once again. Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughntown, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughntown, lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to grupovaughn.com or give us a call, 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Vaughntown. That's right, folks. Vaughntown, the ultimate, no ultimate. ¿Cómo se dice? Vamos a decirlo en voz alta. The ultimate immersion experience, and you don't have to leave Spain. Right here on the Iberian Peninsula, you can immerse yourself in an Anglo-Saxon world. And you'll hear people from Ireland, from England, from different parts of the United States, from Australia. It's like traveling to a lot of different places without having to leave the comfort of, your home, which is Spain in many cases. Obviously, we have listeners all over the world, but unfortunately, we only have Vaughan towns in Spain for now. Who knows? Maybe we'll expand. But it is absolutely awesome. It's not an English course. It's an English experience. If you want to experience English, experimentar, vivirlo. And that's the only way to learn, right? Really? To be immersed, to listen to all those sounds, and then trying to parrot those sounds. Parrot es loro, pues también es repetir. No, piénsalo. Makes sense. I love how everything in English can be verbified. Se puede convertir todo en un verbo. So, parrot me throughout the show. Y ojo, no es parrot. ¿Es parrot or is it parrot? ¿Y cómo se dice zanahoria, ya que estamos con esa regla de 3? Carrot. Ya no es una O. Yo sé que es una O, pero no se pronuncia una O. Carrot. Parrot. So parrot the things you hear, including those 2 words. ¿Tú sabes las veces que he oído parrot? Hasta aquí en casa, ¿eh? No digo nombres, pero no es mi hija. But it's great, as I always tell my students too. Thanks to my dad, I know your mistakes before you make them, because I knew these pronunciation mistakes as a little kid. They're not mistakes that I had to, become an English teacher and experience in class. I grew up in a multilingual home. So, sure, I was exposed to Spanish, but I was also exposed to English with a very Spanish pronunciation. And I'm not making fun of my dad at all. In fact, I used it to my advantage to say, wait, okay, my dad says it like this, but in school they say it like that. But it's great because it gave me that training, esa formación, before I even got into the English teaching world. So, folks, again, it's so important. Yeah, listening is great. Listen every day. Listen as much as you can. Even if you're doing other things, tune in. Sintoniza. But at any point, when you hear something where you're like, ¿qué? That sounds weird. O yo no lo diría así. That's your cue, tu pie, ¿no? Tu señal para decir, entonces debo pronunciarlo. Si es una estructura, a phrasal verb, a tricky word to pronounce, especially because we have a section called homophones where we look at those kind of tricky words such as burn, quemar, arder, and barn. Now, yo sé que mucha gente dice barn. ¿Sabes cómo lo sé? The Simpsons. Mr. Barnes. I hear everybody call him Mr. Barnes. It's Mr. Burns, right? So these kind of things that sometimes it's just a little sound that makes it totally different. So another example, violence or violins. Listen to the difference. Violence, violencia, violence. Dilo conmigo. It's a perfect example. Violence. Okay. Oh, uh-oh. Speaking of violence. So, y la O, fíjate, no lo pronuncio en esta palabra. Violence. It's not violence. Porque es incómodo meter la O. So we say, naturalmente y sin pensarlo, sin haberlo acordado antes, violence. El sonido final es una S. Y el otro, violins. Ahí sí que decimos la O por cómo se pronuncia la palabra. Pero no es solo la O que pronunciamos diferente, es la terminación. Violence, S. Violins, esa Z, ese Z, sonido que hacen las avispas, right? Zzz, violence. Again, it's a nuance, un matiz. But again, what is the difference between the present tense with some regular verbs and the past tense? Muy fácil. Every day I talk acaba con qué, una K, sonido K. And yesterday I talked. O sea, lo único que me indica que estamos hablando en otro tiempo verbal es esa T. Esa T es clave, entonces, right? I talked to her. I talked to. So these are the kind of things I want you guys to, not just the vocabulary that we're learning, but also the way we say it. And as you know, it's never the way it's written. Well, let's work on our listening right now and taking dictation in a section we call the Say What Soundbite. Say what? Say what? Say what? Say what? Say what? What? Huh? Jeez Louise. Jeez Louise. Madre mía. Jeez. It's like saying Jesus, pero solo Jeez. Jeez Louise. Holy moly. Sí, nos encanta rimar cuando tenemos la oportunidad. Also, folks, guess what? A nice round of applause for your classmates, Alberto, Alfonso, Born to Iron Man, Nuria, Chris Valrol, Marisol, and Anix. We're going to be hearing from all of them in our question of the week. And this, again, is an opportunity for you guys to express yourself aloud in English and at the same time receive some feedback from your teacher. He dicho your or your? That's right. So, folks, today we're going to be looking at the first thing you do when you get home from a vacation. Right when you walk in the door, what's the first thing you do? And there's another one. It's not vacation, it's vacation. Right? Viene del verbo to vacate. You need to vacate the premises, salir. No? So again, that's one. Believe me, if I highlight it, si lo destaco aquí en el programa, es porque me he hartado de oírlo mal tantas veces. Entonces, te voy avisando antes de que caigas en la trampa, de decir vacation. Right? ¿Por qué? Porque lo he oído. Mi padre dice vacation. Vacation. Y la V y la B, that's a whole different story there. Right? It's not vacation. It's vacation. Okay? Vacation. We also say vacay. That's the vacas. If you say, pero otra vez, no es solo el sonido vocal. Es que vosotros en español no diferenciáis muchas veces entre la V y la B. A lo mejor en algunos sitios, pero yo sé que en la península aquí, man, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. It's a tough one. I've always heard Valencia, con una B, cuando en inglés no es plosive. Plosive is a B, P, B. Those are plosives, se llaman. Les llamo explosivos, aunque no lo son, pero explota la voz. Y esta es diferente. This is a very. So let's say these words. Lively, very, vacation, yeah, volviendo a la que vimos, all right? So, vacation. Also, guys, let me give you your question of the week. This is your question of the week for next week. Now, next week, we're doing it on Wednesday, okay? Because Semana Santa, we're moving things around a little bit. So, but you've got almost a week to get it to me. And it's a deep question this week. Do you believe in soulmates? What is a soulmate? You say half an orange, media naranjas? Do you believe in the idea or the concept of soulmates. And just like every question of the week, you've got to explain yourself. No es solo, yeah, I believe in soulmates. Bye, Alberto. Thanks for letting me participate. No, I want you to expound on the idea. Yes, I believe that everybody has a soulmate out there, whether they've met them or they haven't met them yet, but there's somebody who you connect with on a different level. Okay, we say, well, you say almas gemelas too, right? That's another way to say it. Vamos a ver cómo lo traducen aquí. Soulmate. I think in way is media naranja. Alma gemela, media naranja. So it's somebody with whom you have a deep affinity, right? There's that connection where you can finish each other's sentences. You know what the person is thinking. And that person, that person and you were destined to be together, right? Many times it's romantically, but also, hey, maybe your best friend is your soulmate. You don't have a partner, you're not in a relationship, but you're like, oh man, what would I do without my soulmate, the person who understands me in the depths of my soul, las profundidades de mi alma. So, do you believe in the concept or the idea of soulmates? And of course, you've got to explain your answer. You can send it to me at my email address, aalonso@grupovon.com. Again, it's aalonso, dos A's, at grupovon.com. Record it on your phone, and then we'll hear from you next Wednesday. Okay, I'll remind you again next week, but next week, just because, as I said, I'm moving things around a little bit with Easter week. Can you believe it? ¿Os lo podéis creer? Semana Santa. I mean, seriously? And you know what happens after that? Then, it's the weather changes. Usually it's bad. We are, at least in Spain, you guys have the Easter week curse. Y no falla, eh? It never fails. The Easter week curse, la maldición de la Semana Santa. It's true. You always get some shitty weather. Doesn't matter where you are. I think last year, the only place that had good weather was the north of Spain for a change, para variar. But we used to go down to Almeria to see my family and friends there. And then after so many times trying to tempt fate, tentar retar al destino, we decided, listen, if it's going to rain, well, we might as well be in Madrid. Right? There's no reason to go to the beach when it's raining, even if you're not swimming. But, kind of half of the fun of going to the beach is the sun, putting your feet in the sand. But if it's rainy, overcast is another way of saying cloudy, right? Well, then it's just not as fun. It's not as exciting. So hopefully you guys have some awesome plans for Easter week. And hopefully those plans include practicing your English. All right, let me give you today's Say What soundbite. Now, let me explain. This is parental advisory, explicit lyrics. No son letras de canciones, pero así era lo que ponían en los CDs. Parental advisory. This is explicit. Okay, there are some swear words in here, some curse words. So if you're listening with the kids, now's a good time to cover up their ears. All right, is everybody ready? Here's your Say What soundbite for the first time. Remember, listen, gather, colecciona, capta, gather as much as you can, and then tell me what you heard in your best English. You can do it here in the comments, and hopefully by the end of the show, after the fourth listen, somebody will be able to give it to me word for word. Here it is, your Say What soundbite for the first time.
So that's what this is all about? Fucking robbery?
Put down the gun.
Why'd you have to nuke the whole building, Hans?
All right, there you go, amigos. Tough one. Tough one. But we'll see if you guys can figure it out. All right, let's move on. We've got tons to do. It's time for today's pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's
Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz.
That's right, folks. This is our pop quiz. And as always, we're going to take a look at, or I should say, have a listen here. And, well, this is one of our awesome materials, one of the many awesome materials we have at Von Tienda. And this one is called Natural English. Empezando por ahí, no es natural, right? Natural. Solo poder decir el título bien, ya hemos avanzado. Natural English, tu guía definitiva del inglés natural. As always, I want you to listen carefully, and then I'll have a couple questions based on the content you heard. Here's a little excerpt from Natural English.
Chapter 15, when you're following your instinct.
Cuando sigues tus instintos. 4 key expressions.
A sixth sense,
Un sexto sentido.
to feel it in your bones or to feel it in your waters.
Tener el presentimiento.
A gut feeling.
Una corazonada.
Deep down,
En el fondo.
More useful English. Vocabulary. Ultrasound scan.
Ecografía.
Baby bump.
Pancita de bebé.
Phrasal verb. To make out.
Ver, descifrar.
Common mistake.
¿En qué lo estás basando? No se dice on what are you basing it, sino
What are you basing it on? Set phrase. If you say so.
si tú lo dices.
Pronunciation.
Sobre, en inglés se dice
Envelope. Exaggerate. The suspense is killing me.
me tienes en ascuas.
Trust me, it's a boy.
What makes you so sure, Robert? Did you see anything on the scan? I couldn't make out a thing.
Scan? Pff, I've got a sixth sense for these things. There are some things you just know, and I can feel it in my bones that it's going to be a boy. I mean, it's my son after all.
But what are you basing it on? Is it perhaps because my bump is low or high, big or small? Is it just because the cot you bought is blue?
Look, blue is my favourite colour. But anyway, I don't need to look at the bump to know. It's a gut feeling. I just know deep down that it's definitely a boy. Robert Jr.
Robert Jr.? If you say so. Funnily enough, my instinct told me it was a girl. But as you always say, you do have a nose for these things. Gosh, come on, just open the envelope. The suspense is killing me.
I've always said that Roberta is a nice name.
Chapter 16, when you know what someone's feeling.
Cuando sabes cómo se siente alguien. 4 key expressions.
To be written all over someone's face.
Poder ver en la cara de alguien.
On the same wavelength.
En la misma onda.
To speak volumes.
Decirlo todo.
It takes one to know one.
Mira quién habla.
More useful English. Set phrase. Don't play dumb with me.
No te hagas el tonto conmigo.
Exaggerate. What's that got to do with anything?
¿Y eso qué tiene que ver?
Phrasal verb. To make up.
Inventar.
Vocabulary. Pointless.
Inútil.
Pronunciation.
Psicótico se dice
Psycho.
Aha! I knew you had a crush on her. It's written all over your face.
Sorry, what? Who are you talking about?
Oh, don't play dumb with me. I can read between the lines. Every time someone says her name, you look to the left.
Do I? Are you sure? And anyway, what's that got to do with anything? Are you just making stuff up?
I saw it on a detective show. If someone looks to the left when you talk to them about something, it means they're hiding something. Look, you and I were on the same wavelength. I can read your mind, you know. Plus, your defensiveness is speaking volumes.
What defensiveness? I'm not saying or doing anything. And what do you mean you can read my mind? I have to say you're acting very strangely all of a sudden. And to be honest, you're starting to sound a bit deranged.
Ha! The pot calling the kettle black.
Okay, well, this is pointless. You're a total psycho.
It takes one to know one. Now just admit it.
All right, amigos. We are going to a quick commercial break. Wow. That was chock full of amazing, totally native, natural English, as the title is called. You can pick it up at Von Tienda, and we'll take a look at that when we come back from this quick commercial break. So, stick around. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. This is part 2 of today's show with no name here on Vaughn Radio. Don't forget to listen to all the amazing programs we have lined up for you today. Programados por venir, lined up. Fijaos, la D, lo uno con el up. We've got a lot of great programs lined up. Dilo conmigo. Por venir, programados en la recámara, right? Como lo tenemos previsto. This is how we learn totally native English, not just the vocabulary, but how to put it together, how it's supposed to sound. And as we know, it has nothing to do with the way it's written, right? So we're going to take a look at the Say What soundbite. Also, we've got our pop quiz. In fact, I'll give you guys the pop quiz challenges right now. The first one, how would you say, fíjate de tu instinto? No dudes de tu instinto. Okay? So that means, si te dice la tripa, ahí te doy una pista, a little clue, que algo está mal, es que algo está mal. That's something you learn living in New York quickly, right? Casi lo digo. So, fíjate de tu instinto. The next one, we said corazonada is, I have a gut feeling. Pues hay otra forma de decirlo, a ver si lo sabes, un sinónimo. Más corto, menos sílabas, más fácil de decir, creo. Tengo una corazonada. Okay, that's number 2. Hemos visto gut feeling, pero vamos a ver si sabéis otra forma de expresar la idea de una corazonada. And the last one is en ascuas. Okay, en ascuas, as I believe, I used to mix that one with Pascua, right? Pascua, ascua. Ooh, it reminds me of the same word there. But yeah, en ascuas, sobre ascuas, en vilo, right? It means you're in suspense. You need to know. All right, so those are your 3 natural English, totally native challenges in today's pop quiz. The first one, fíjate de tu instinto, ¿no? De lo que sientes, de tu tripa. Okay, ahí te lo doy todo. The second one, another way of saying a gut feeling, right? Okay, we've looked at this word before, so you should know it. And the third one, to be really, really excited about something, you're in suspense about it, you say en ascuas. As always, use them in context. Use them in a context that makes sense to you, in a context that you would actually use. A lo mejor estás en ascuas por algo ahora. El fin de semana, right? Por ejemplo. Tengo muchísimas ganas. No, estoy que no puedo, que tengo que saber. Okay, that's up to you. Use it however you'd like. The idea is if you personalize it, then you're not just practicing a random vocabulary word or phrasal verb or idiomatic expression, but you're practicing the application of that in your own life. All right. So those are your 3 challenges in our pop quiz. We'll take a look at those answers. Also, let me give you the Say What soundbite. As I said, I think it's going to be a tough one today, but do your best. It's from a movie, if you haven't figured that out, because usually you can tell. Normalmente se nota. right? If it's an interview, it's normally, conversational. But here it's acting, it's get out of my way, You can tell the difference in many cases. So what I would say generally, an interview is a little bit easier to understand. When you're acting, it's like you're trying to be melodramatic and all that stuff, right? I always say the voiceover artists here, mi frase favorita, quítate de medio, maldito cabrón. And then I think to myself, who talks like that? I mean, I don't even mean actors. I mean, normal people. Who sounds like that? Do you know anybody who's like, quítate de medio, maldito cabrón? Then why do we do that in the movies? I don't get it. I thought the whole idea was like realistic acting and not overacting. Speaking of, we looked at the word exaggerate. Well, to overstate is another way to say to exaggerate a la hora de hablar, porque to state es afirmar algo, decir algo. So if you overstate it, lo estás exagerando. Some really good vocabulary, and we'll take a look at some of the vocabulary I wanted to highlight from this material. Again, it's called Natural English. You can pick it up at Von Tienda. It's available for $25.95. Vamos, 26 euros, 26 euros, and it is a wealth of knowledge, una abundancia. Y ojo con esa palabra, ¿es knowledge o knowledge? Ahí lo tienes. Eso es otra que podríamos repetir ahora mismo. I know what you mean. I have a lot of knowledge. Yo lo entiendo. Entiendo porque decís knowledge, porque es la palabra know. Pero no siempre es así. O sea, y sabiendo que cambia, pues tomamos nota. You can take a mental note. You can write it down. But the most important thing is that you say it. Knowledge. I have no knowledge about that situation. Okay? So there you go, amigos. All right, let me give you this tricky, difícil, say what sound, but I'm going to give it to you right now for the second time, and we'll see if you guys can make some sense of it.
So that's what this is all about? Fucking robbery?
Put down the gun.
Why'd you have to nuke the whole building, Hans?
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah, wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así da gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damián, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
Vaughantienda.com.
It's the shit. That's right, folks. This book is the shit. You can pick it up at Von Tienda. Remember, I've got 5 books, but I highly recommend Kyle's book, Business English, our translation booklets, today's book or material. In fact, la palabra book se queda corto, no? A book is like, okay, I read it. This is a material, a resource that you can interact with. And speaking of natural English, let's take a look at some of the stuff that I wanted to highlight. Now, we heard the word sobre, envelope. Now, hay dos pronunciaciones que se aceptan, envelope and envelope. O sea, whatever floats your boat, la que te salga más fácil. Pero que sepas, it's like the word aunt. Tú puedes decir aunt, tía, or aunt. Why? And again, these are, I think, examples. It's just a matter of choice, because in the United States, I know people who say my aunt, and I know people who say my aunt. So it's not even a British American thing. Another word like that, vase, vase, florero, right? Vase or vase, okay? Take note. And again, when you have 2 options, go with the one that's easier for you. But just understand there might be some people who say envelope, even though you say envelope. Okay. Another one, I love this one, a baby bump. Well, a bump is como un bulto. So a baby bump. Another way we say it is you have a bun in the oven. To have a bun in the oven. And it reminded me of a story. My wife and I found out that she was pregnant in Bangkok, Thailand. Yeah, of all places. Imagine that. We were in Bangkok, Thailand, and she was feeling weird, and she said, I don't know what's going on here. And we found out we were going to be parents, which today's Father's Day, by the way. And I got the best gift ever. My daughter made me a drawing, un dibujo esta mañana. But the point I'm getting at is, well, some people, they're just good at reading people, no leer la gente, las situaciones. So we arrived in Phuket, or as I call it, fuck it. Si lo dices, no PHSF. Phuket in Thailand. And we were going to meet the woman whose house we were staying in. We were staying in an Airbnb right on the beach. And we met this woman, Cho. I'll never forget. Her name was Cho. She was Chinese, even though her husband was from Phuket. And we got out of the van. We took a van, una furgoneta, from the airport to the home. And as soon as we got out of the van, she said to my wife, I don't mean to be presumptuous or forward. Forward es pasarme de con preguntas aquí. I don't mean to be forward, but do you have a baby in there? Do you have a bun in the oven? And let me explain something. My wife was 2 weeks pregnant. Impossible to see it visually. Impossible. There's no way on God's earth she would have known by looking at her. She felt it. It was crazy. She blew our minds. Nos dejó boquiabiertos. We were like, wait, how the did you know that? And, you know, she was very, I got to say, she was very zen, very like, yes. She was walking around barefoot, sin zapatos, total like hippie zen kind of vibe. And she went a step further. Fue un paso más allá. She goes, let me just look at you for a second here. Let me feel. And she said, it's going to be a girl. And we're like, wait. A, how the hell did you know she's pregnant? She's not showing, como se dice, no lo demuestra todavía, su cuerpo. I mean, we found out 2 days ago. And how do you know it's going to be a girl? She goes, I have a corazonada, a gut feeling. O ahora vamos a ver la otra forma de decir a gut feeling. And she said, can you do me a favor? When the baby is born, can you confirm or deny? So she actually wanted to know, too, if she was right. And guess what? Cho, man, what a mystic. Maga. So that was incredible. Talking about, you know, people having that instinct, that gut feeling. And she just knew. She knew. It blew both of our minds. And even to this day, we're like, A, how did she know you were pregnant? or that you had a bun in the oven because there was no baby bump. O sea, no había bulto todavía. And decimos un panecito en el horno. That's cute. A bun in the oven. Another thing we looked at, lo decís parecido. To be on the same wavelength. Estamos en la misma onda. We're on the same wavelength. Otra expresión que vimos, it takes one to know one. Alberto, tú eres un gocho. Ahí sabes lo que te digo. Me has pillado porque tú eres igual. To know one es mira quién habla. Sí, lo sabrás muy bien tú. ¿No? Requiere uno para reconocer a otros. La traducción literal. It takes one to know one. Okay, when somebody says something that they are as well, you're like, you recognized it because you're the same. Don't play dumb. Que también lo vimos ahí, la B muda. Don't play dumb. No te hagas el tonto. No haces como que no te enteres. Don't play dumb. We also looked at the word make up and make out. Make out has many meanings. My eyesight isn't very good, so it's hard for me to make out words when the font is very small. ¿Lo ves del contexto? Te lo digo de nuevo. So my eyesight isn't as good as it used to be. So it's hard for me to make out words if they're really small. Descifrar, ver, divisar, I think you would say. I can't make out what it says. Also, to make out, enrollarse. They made out in front of the fireplace, delante de la chimenea. To make out. También es, ¿qué tal te ha ido? How did you make out yesterday? Oh, good. Everything went well. So that make out, whoa, it's got a lot of meanings there. All right. Also, make up. Oh, my God. Make up is one of the ones with the most meanings. Hacer las paces. Decidirte. Inventarse algo. Recuperar. Maquillarte. To make oneself up. So, it's, again, what do we do in these cases when there are words with so many meanings? Pay attention. Si estamos prestando atención, no vamos a saber si estás diciendo enrollarte o descifrar algo, ¿no? Captar, verlo bien. Okay? Also another one. This one's very similar in Spanish. That's the pot calling the kettle black. That's the pot, dijo la olla a la sartén, I think you say. We say, eso es la olla llamándole al kettle. ¿Cómo se dice kettle? O sea, al final están hechos de la misma material. Kettle, hervidor, caldera, right? Ahora, esta palabra ha cambiado un poco because back in the day, a kettle was a big pot. And it's still used that way. But now, the word kettle, at least in the British sense, is este hervidor de agua eléctrico. I'm going to put on a kettle of tea. Piénsalo, ahora es la misma idea. Es algo que calienta agua. Caldera. Kettle. So that's the pot calling, no pot. He dicho pot o pot? Ah. That's the pot calling the kettle black. Okay? And I know, in fact, if I'm not mistaken, in español, la sartén, el cazo, that's it. Thank you. Las lavadoras. Dijo la sartén le dijo al cazo. Well, if I'm not mistaken, that was coined, acuñado by the one and only Miguel de Cervantes. Yeah. So, and we stole it. Nosotros hemos hecho nuestra propia versión. So those are just some of the things that I wanted to highlight from Natural English. Let's go on over here to our chat room and see who's with us and ready to participate in their daily English class. There's Anix. We're going to be hearing from Anix later and her birds, los pajaritos de fondo. And she says, morning, guys. She's talking about, morning. She's talking about our Say What soundbite. She says she could make out what this person said. ¿Ves? El make out otra vez. Pudo descifrar, right? Hacer que tenga sentido, entender, captar. It sounds like a movie scene, absolutely. A dramatic moment, I'd say. Un momento dramático, no doubt about it. It seems like somebody is in big trouble. Te voy a dar un totally native porque alguien la ha liado, pero gorda, ¿no? gordo. Lo has liado ahí. So somebody is in big trouble. Excuse me. Somebody's in big trouble. Then she says one of the characters mentioned a name, something like Hank. Very good. Instead of Hank, it's Hans. I believe it's a German name. Hans. H-A-N-S. But great, Annick's wonderful ear. Excellent job. All right, let's see. There's Born to Iron Man checking in, or I should call him Born to Spelling Bee. There he is. And Born to Question of the Week now, too. That's another section where you have been rising to the top. Let's see. The first one, he says, trust your gut. Eso es. Your gut is tu tripa. O sea, fíjate de tu tripa. Pero también es sinónimo de, ¿cómo se dice? Tripa, estómago. So, fíjate de tu estómago. También your guts es tus agallas, ¿no? Lo que tienes dentro. So we say con ese, you don't have the guts. No tienes agallas, right? So that's a good word because it has I have a beer gut. Esto es literal. Tengo una tripa cervecera. You don't have the guts to say that to me. No tienes los huevos, right? Las agallas de decírmelo. Guts. G-U-T, right? So trust your gut. That means si tu estómago te empieza esa náusea, ese sentido de algo está mal, it's because something's not right. I teach my daughter that. It's hard. It's something you gotta say. If it doesn't feel right, if it's, something, all of a sudden your body changes. Your whole physiology changes. That's not good, right? So trust your gut. Trust your instinct. Good. The next one. I have a gut feeling about the upcoming Easter, and it's going to be sunny all week long. All right. Well, gut feeling es la que te di. Lo que buscaba era un sinónimo para eso. A ver si alguien lo sabe. Si no, os lo doy ahora. So gut feeling is a way of saying una corazonada, right? An instinct. Something is telling me. Pero claro, esa es la que buscamos. Lo que buscábamos aquí ahora es otra forma de decirlo, okay? So, corazonada, presentimiento, pálpito. Oh, I didn't know that one. Te doy una pista. También significa joroba o encorvarse, que al final es parecido, right? So, estamos hablando mucho de partes del cuerpo y también, ¿no? Una joroba o una tripa, right? Hey, maybe we're talking about the back of Notre Dame. The back, o sea, si te sabes el título del jorobado de Notre Dame, pues ahí viene la palabra que buscamos. And I have a corazonada that you're familiar with that movie. I just don't know if you know the title in English. All right, let's see. I hope you're right, Born to Iron Man, with your weather forecast, con tu previsión meteorológica. All right, and the last one, I'm on pins and needles. Great. To be on pins and needles. Esa no lo hemos oído en el audio. Creo que no. Pero sí, perfecto. I'm on pins and needles waiting for listening to. Mejor en este caso, waiting to listen to. Okay, entonces la estructura que buscamos ahí es I'm on pins and needles waiting to listen to my mates on Question of the Week. Okay. Let's see. Tasaro says hunchback. Okay. Hunchback es el jorobado. Vamos a quitar la palabra back. I have a hunch. Ahí lo tienes. I have a hunch he's going to be late. Tengo una corazonada. All right? So hunch. Great. Now you know. I have a gut feeling. I have a hunch. Y si conocéis esta película, pues ya lo tienes ahí. Great job. All right, folks. Also, the one that I was looking for, another way to say en ascuas, is to be on tenterhooks. Okay, es una palabra entera. T-E. Te lo digo en inglés. Así vamos calentando motores para el Spelling Bee. To be on, o sea, tan importante el on que el tenterhooks. Porque si me dices, I'm in tenterhooks, no es la expresión. O si dices, I'm at tenterhooks, it's not the expression. So, es tan importante cuando es frase hecha, esas preposiciones que van ahí, tanto como la palabra clave, vamos a decir. So, cuando apuntas, si lo apuntas, if you take notes, don't just write tenterhooks. Y se escribe TenterHooks. Excuse me, KS. So to be on tenterhooks or to be on, muy bien, Born to Iron Man, la preposición correcta, to be on pins and needles. All right, excellent job. And folks, right now we have to go to another commercial break, but I have a hunch, I have a gut feeling that you're going to really enjoy the second half of today's show. We're going to kick things off with our homophones. In fact, today's homophones come from Elena. That's right. Elena has been giving us tons of contributions to the show. So excellent job, Elena. We'll take a look at our homophones. We'll listen to our Say What soundbite for the third time. A ver si nos acercamos. Let's see if we can make out what it says, right? Plus, we've got Question of the Week. That's right. We're going to hear from our superstar students. That and so much more. Music, movies, and more challenges up ahead. So, if I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Let's say it together. 1, 2, 3. Stick around. Welcome back, amigos. Welcome back. This is part 3, or the second half. Call it what you will. The important thing is to participate as much as you possibly can. Also, a quick reminder, recordatorio, reminder, I am not just your teacher. I'm your social planner, too. Of course. And I've got some awesome plans for you in the coming weeks. Plans that involve English. Plans that are free. What? Free, yeah. First up, mark your calendars for the 26th of March. El 26 de marzo at 7 p.m., Mr. Richard Vaughn will be doing a meet and greet in the Retiro Park. He'll be there with his book, De Texas a España. He'll be able to answer whatever questions you have. But remember, it's first come, first served. Hasta que se complete, no sé, la forma ahí, el aforo. First come, first served. It's the 26th of March at 7 p.m., Biblioteca Municipal Eugenio Trias. And it'll be an evening with the one and only Richard Vaughn. And then you've got another English plan on April 7th, el 7 de abril, at 8 p.m. It's a Tuesday, and it's our Vaughn Radio Trivia Night with the host of Let's Get Random, Jules Linares. That's in Malasaña, the 7th of April, 8 p.m., Calle San Vicente Ferrer, 33. 2 awesome events that are free and events where you'll get to practice your English. I mean, they're perfect, especially if you live in Madrid. I get it. If you guys live in other parts of Spain, well, easier said than done. Entre el dicho y el hecho, right? But if you live in Madrid, you gotta get there. If you can't go to both, pick one of them. But these kind of events are just an opportunity for you to take all this English that you're learning and put it into practice, right? Mingling, mezclando con otra gente con intereses parecidos al tuyo. All right. So, my amigos, you've got your calendar filling up quickly. Se está llenando rápido. All right. Let's move on to our first challenge of the second half of the show. It's homophones on the show with no name.
Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, it's homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, it's homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name. Show it no name.
That's right. It is homophones only on the show with no name. And let's see what we've got for today's homophones. These are sponsored by your friend, your classmate, Elena, who has been sending me tons of content lately, últimamente, right? All right. The first one is tallo, caña de bambú, right? También es pie de una seta. Okay, so si ves, es la idea, es, right, esta parte. Troncho, si hablamos de hortaliza. Okay. También es acosar, acechar. Sé que es una palabra que conocéis, ahora lo decís a la española. Okay. De hecho, lo decís como la persona que acecha o acosa o persigue a alguien. Right? I know you know this word. All right? So, again, it's tallo, caña, pie, troncho, que es la misma idea al final, la parte que no es la parte de arriba, ¿no? La parte donde crece. And it's also, si es un animal, pues seguir sigilosamente o acechar, acosar. Y esto es to be obsessed. If you do this, if you're doing this to someone, you are obsessed. You have a problem, and you could even go to prison, right? I don't recommend doing this. It's not, at first, the person's not going to like you, right? If you do that, it's not going to work, right? But also, it's illegal to do it as well. Okay, so I know you know the words, pero esa primera palabra sé que mucha gente lo pronuncia con una L, que ya te puedo decir que en inglés esa L no lo usamos. All right, and the second word, it's got also many meanings. So great words, Elena, not just because they're words that we'll see out there, but they're also words that have quite a few meanings each. So this one, if we're talking about finance, we're talking about acciones. If we're talking about merchandise, we're talking about existencias. Okay? It's also suministro. Okay? Inventario, existencias. Okay? It also is caldo. So si yo te digo caldo de pollo, pues estoy diciendo, se puede decir broth, pero hay otra palabra, okay, que es caldo. All right, and también culata, ¿no? Si hablamos de un arma de fuego. De hecho, hay una película, Lock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Pues es esa palabra ahí. Okay. Si hablamos de la bolsa, we're talking about the market. Okay. So, otra vez, dos palabras que yo creo que son casi universales. Vamos a ver si las conocéis, if you're familiar with these words, and if you know if they sound exactly the same or not. So, the first one, as I said, tallo, pie, caña, troncho, también acosar o acechar. And the second one is caldo, pero también es acciones, es también existencias, tener existencias, inventario, suministro. All right? And I know you use that anglicismo también. So those are your words. We'll see what you guys can come up with. Also, let me give you the Say What soundbite here for the third time. We should be getting a little bit closer to figuring it out. Are you ready? Here goes.
So that's what this is all about? Fucking robbery?
Put down the gun.
Why'd you have to nuke the whole building, Hans?
First things first, how are the machines doing? You good?
Yeah, good.
All right, cool. Let's take a little picture. Quick question, though. ¿Cómo se dice emparejar en inglés?
No sé. ¿Tu
Come on.
emparejate?
No, emparejate. Usas Tinder, ¿no?
Sí.
Pues, ¿qué pasa cuando te gusta una chica y hacéis pareja? ¿Hacéis un
Match.
Eso es. Y vamos un paso más allá. Un matchmaker, uno que hace parejas, es Celestina.
Ah, claro, ¿qué sentido tiene?
¿Ves? Lo sabías, pero no sabías que lo sabías.
Así es, This Book is the Shit, el nuevo libro de Alberto Alonso
Y Damián Moya.
Así da gusto aprender.
That's what I'm talking about. That's right, folks. You can pick up This Book is the Milk. This Book is the Milk 2. This Book is the Shit. English Everywhere or English on the Go, or all 5 of them. If you're interested in my books, you can pick them up at vontienda.com. You can also stop by in person because we have offices located all over. We've got offices in Madrid, in Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, and Santander. So what are you waiting for? No, super frase de marketing. ¿A qué esperas? What are you waiting for? You've got tons of English at your disposal, at your fingertips, a tu alcance. All right, let's take a look at these homophones over here. The first person to participate, born to Iron Man. You're on fire today, buddy. Let's see. The first word is correct. The second word is also correct. And he says they don't sound alike, que no suenan iguales. All right, no problem. This is really easy to figure out. Why? I'll just say the words. Como antes dije, burn, barn. ¿Suenan igual? No, el sonido vocal. El resto sí. Burn, barn. Burn, R. No. Okay, so let's say the words here. The first one, stalk. Stalk. No stalk, porque sé que decís, este es un stalker. Stalk, right? La L no. Vamos a decir estas palabras. Walk, que riman. Walk. No walk. Walk. Talk. Stalk. De hecho, hay un cuento clásico, Jack and the Beanstalk, ¿no? Donde pone las semillas y crece, right? Jack and the Bean. It's a classic. Y hay un gigante, right? That's a classic tale. Jack and the Beanstalk. So let's look at it in some of the uses. As I said, walk, talk, stalk. They all sound the same. So si sabes decir uno de esos, sabes decir todos. All right, so the stalks of the flowers were long. The stalks of the flowers, right? The lion stalked the gazelle. The lion stalked, right? Como verbo aquí, acechar, seguir detrás de la caza. The lion stalked the gazelle or the zebra. Bueno, lions, todo. They stalk everything. But also, man, he got in trouble, se metió en líos for stalking his ex-girlfriend, okay? He's a stalker. Stalk, es el sonido. Stalk, walk, all right? So there you go. That's the first word. The second word, stock. So los digo. Stock, stock. Stock, sta. Mira, en la primera, stock, no abro la boca. La segunda sí. Stock. Pero ahora estoy liando con las dos palabras. Stock. Otra vez, si quitamos todo el resto, nos quedamos con stock, stock, stock. No stock. 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 Ah. Right? Stock rhymes with block. Rhymes with sock. Rhymes with lock. Right? Si sabes, otra vez, es cuestión de controlar ese sonido y si lo sabes decir una vez, lo puedes decir con todas las palabras que riman con ello. So, Born to Iron Man? Correct. Tamara says bye-bye. Thank you, Tamara. Thank you for stopping by. Gracias por pasarte un rato a estar con nosotros. All right. Excellent job in the homophone section. And as I said, stock, we have chicken stock, beef stock, fish stock, the stock market, right? So again, a word that you'll see in many different uses out there. All right, folks, it is the moment you've been waiting for. I know our buddy Born to Iron Man said it before. He's on pins and needles. He's on tenterhooks because he wants to hear from his fellow students in Question of the Week.
Question of the Week.
All right, question of the week. I've got to say, excellent job, Alberto, Alfonso. Guys, you're making me proud. Well, if you remember, guys, this section, only the ladies were participating. And now we got Alberto, Alfonso, Born to Iron Man. You guys answered the call. Contestasteis a la llamada. La convocatoria, right? You answered the call, guys. So just for that, I'm proud of you. O sea, además de que estáis mejorando, cogiendo más confianza a la hora de hablar, it's great. It's great to hear from you guys. In fact, it's like, Anix, who's been participating, or Chris Valrod. I look forward to hearing them every week on the show. It's part of the show now, right? Their participation. Well, Alberto, Alfonso, and Born to Iron Man have joined the ladies, and it's wonderful. We're equal opportunity here, ¿no? Aquí tenemos que enseñar a todos. A todes, you say, right? Todes. So Alberto is up first, and let's give it a listen. Remember, this week's question is, what is the first thing you usually do when you get home after a long vacation? Here's Alberto.
Hello, show no namers.
What's up?
This is Alberto speaking again, and I'm really excited.
I love it, Alberto. I noticed, me he dado cuenta. No me has dicho ein, como la última vez. O sea, progress. Estamos progresando. Excellent. He oído esa M. That was music to my ears. Precioso, bonito. Excellent. Exciting, como has dicho.
About participating in this section of the program. Regarding the question of this week.
Oigo muchas M's, tío. Beautiful, beautiful, Alberto.
I have to say that the first thing I do after getting home.
¿Estáis oyendo sus M's? Wow. Y la semana pasada tuvimos un temita ahí con las M's.
When traveling is unpacking.
Unpacking. So we don't do the suitcase. We don't make the suitcase. We pack and we unpack. Mucho más cortito.
Although it's a nightmare, you don't have a choice.
Yeah. Como decimos, needs must. Es obligación. Needs must. You've got to unpack. You can't leave your dirty clothes in the suitcase for 2 weeks. That's not going to be too good for the smell of the clothes. You'll get mildew, this kind of, ugh. So yeah, that's key. In fact, Alberto, you stole my answer. No lo he dicho. The first thing I do is a load of laundry. I unpack, and whatever's dirty goes right into the laundry there. So this way it doesn't pile up. Así no se va amontonando. Seguimos.
To avoid post-vacation procrastination,
Good.
I follow a strict rule. Unpacked immediately. I find that if the suitcase stays closed, the trip never truly ends.
If the suitcase stays closed, tenemos que oír la D ahí al final, the trip never ends. Hey, good philosophy, buddy.
Another thing I do after coming from a trip is
Cuidado, no trip. Suavizamos esa ahí, trip.
eating one Spanish omelette. This is the food I missed the most when going abroad.
Muy bien la pronunciación de abroad. He oído millones de veces abroad. es abroad, tal como lo ha dicho Alberto.
Sometimes we are lucky and my mother-in-law does it for us and brings it to my house.
That's a mother-in-law that needs a pedestal, a medal.
I will always be grateful to her for going the extra mile.
To go the extra mile, hacer más de lo que se espera de ti. Wow, Alberto, excellent.
Finally, the day always ends with the ultimate luxury, a long shower and sleeping in my own bed.
Is there anything like a long shower, a nice hot shower, and sleeping in your own bed with fresh sheets? Oh, no me ha salido. Fresh sheets, sábanas frescas, ¿no? Recién lavadas.
A comfort that no 5-star hotel can ever truly replicate.
Absolutely.
This is all for today. Traveling as soon as possible to do my rituals. Have a good day. Bye.
Hoping to travel. O sea, en vez del gerundio, I'm hoping to travel soon. Okay, excellent job. Or I hope to. I hope to travel soon, or I'm hoping to travel soon. Alberto, you sounded excellent, and we're very similar. I also want like either a bocata de jamón, or I need something Spanish, especially if I go abroad. In fact, I remember when we were in Asia for 3 weeks, I was like, quiero jamón. Quiero croquetas, quiero torreznos. I was like, I love sushi and noodles and ramen, but oh man, I was dying for some Spanish food. Alberto, not only did you do a good job, but you kind of answered it for me too. All right, let's continue with Alfonso.
Hi, Alberto.
Hey.
It's Alfonso again
What's
from
up?
Ruby. What I do really depends on the trip.
Trip, esto es un error que ambos habéis cometido y es muy común. Acuérdate, no es una I latina. Yo sé que la letra es una I latina, pero es trip, no trip. ¿Ves? Primero, no es el mismo sonido y segundo, es mucho más corto. Trip es largo, la I, right? Pero aquí es trip, trip. Vamos a decirlo todos, trip. Dip, flip, sip. Okay? It's not just Alberto and Alfonso. This is a nationwide thing. Okay? So trip.
If it's an overseas flight and I'm traveling in business class, I usually unpack my suitcase and get the laundry started.
Yep.
But if I fly economy, I come back exhausted. So I just spend the first day relaxing on the couch. If I get home straight from a cruise,
Ooh, a cruise. I remember you were on a cruise last year.
it's more like the first case.
First, right? La I es como una first.
I unpack and do the laundry since I'm not too tired.
Since tired.
On the other hand, if it's a road trip, I also tend to rest before unpacking because driving can be tiring too. See you.
So really, great answer. Depends on how well rested you are. Or how tired you are, otra forma de expresarlo. Cuánto has descansado o cuán cansado estás. So excellent job. So I see the laundry thing is not just me, huh? I think that's everybody. Like, let's get things moving. Pongamos las cosas en marcha, porque si no, this stuff is gonna pile up. Va a ir acumulándose, amontonándose. All right, we're going to hear from another student who has never missed his date with us here on this section since we started 2026. Here he is, your buddy, born to Iron Man.
Hi, friends.
Hi.
What's the first thing I do when I get home from a trip?
Trip o trip. O sea, os he pillado a todos, ¿eh? Nadie se escapa aquí. Pero no solo los que han participado. He oído trip 20 veces. Trip. Dilo conmigo. Vamos a otra vez. Trip. Flip. Sip. Nip. No se me ocurre más palabras ahí. Slip. Resbalarse. Slip. ¿Ok? Otra vez. Si fuese solo problema de ellos, no problem. Esto es un tema porque ese sonido no existe en inglés, ese sonido vocal. Por eso hay que trabajarlo más, hay que darle más cariño. Let's continue.
I always follow the same routine. It helps me feel settled again.
Settled.
The first thing I do is call my mom.
Oh, you're a good son. You are a good son. And happy Father's Day. by the way, to you and all the daddies listening.
After being away, I like to let her know I arrived safely.
I arrived safely, or I arrived safe and sound. You say the same, sano y salvo.
It's a small habit, but it's important to me because it shows I care and keeps us connected.
It keeps us connected, keeps us connected. Yeah. And you're checking in on her, no? Viendo cómo está. Sure, good son.
The second thing I do is unpack my suitcase.
Suitcase. Pero no hay que decir ni suitcase en esta frase porque unpack ya lo implica. So you can say I pack or I unpack. El suitcase lo puedes usar, pero no hace falta. Lo digo para simplificar donde podemos.
Even though I'm usually tired, I prefer to do it right away.
Me encanta cómo has pronunciado tired. I am tired of hearing tired. So, great job. Esa cuesta, ¿eh? Esa es uno de los big ones. Tired. Tie, como corbata. Tired.
Instead of leaving it for later.
So you don't procrastinate. It seems like none of you are procrastinators. You don't put it off. To put off, aplazar.
It helps me feel organized and makes my room look normal again. Finally, I do the washing.
I do the washing, or I do a load. ¿Os acordáis que vimos esta palabra hace poco en un Double Trouble? I do a load of laundry. You say colada. Yo antes decía carga porque la palabra load es cargar. Pero bueno, tiene sentido en ambos idiomas.
All the clothes I use during the trip go straight into the laundry.
Oh, yeah.
This way, everything is clean and ready to use again. These 3 simple steps, calling my mom, unpacking, and doing the washing, help me relax and return to my daily routine after a trip. Keep in contact.
All right. Yeah, como decimos la expresión, me recuerda la expresión back to the grind. So I can get back to the grind. Que es así puedo volver a la rutina. All right. Excellent job to all the students who have participated so far. The good news is we're going to hear from some other students. We're still going to hear from Nuria, Chris Valrol, Marisol, and Anix. The guys did a wonderful job. When we come back, we're going to hear from the ladies. Plus, we've got Double Trouble. We've got, a lot of stuff to cover. We've got Name That Movie, lyrics. Oof. All right, guys. We are going to put the pedal to the metal when we return. Fantastic job. And what's stopping you from participating in next week's question of the week? You want to practice your speaking? You want some feedback? You know what to do. Folks, we'll be right back with the 4th and final part of today's show. So, stick around. Welcome back, amigos. Welcome back. This is the 4th and final part of today's show with no name here on Vaughn Radio. Thank you so much for learning and laughing with me every day. Don't forget to listen to all my amigos. You've got Speaking with Confidence with Ale, The Lunchtime Show with Rob Grams, Speak English with Ruby, The Salad with Dave Boys, Let's get random with Jules Linares. The Hour to Empower with Jessica Fernandez. Get excited about it. Why not? Si la opción es ser un flipado o no, yo lo tengo clarísimo. Also, you got the Pro Bow Show with Rob Grams, otro flipado como yo. And Fitz and his masterclass, No Excuses. Download the free Vaughn Radio app and you can learn anywhere. There's no wrong time to learn English. Anytime you got a couple minutes, tune in. Also, remember, you've got all of these programs available on your favorite podcast platform. Spotify, iVox, Apple Podcasts, and so on and so forth, etc. Yeah, you can say etc., or you can say and so on and so forth. Fourth ahí no es cuarto. Es sin la U, F-O-R-T-H, que es un homófono. But right now, it's not time for homophones. Nope. It's time for triple. Yeah, you heard right. Triple trouble. Yeah.
Double trouble, baby.
I said triple, not double.
You know what time it is.
Give it up.
Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
That's right, amigos. It is double trouble here on the show with no name. But as I said, today we're doing a triple trouble. Now, the good news is you should know this. If you're a regular listener, we've gone through this one. Hemos hecho esta. Yeah, de hecho, lo estábamos mirando, diría, hace una semana. All right, so you shouldn't have too much difficulty with it. All right, here we go. Tienen un chanchullo barra estafa. Okay, un negocio ilegal. Okay, tienen un chanchullo barra estafa donde venden raquetas. Okay, raquetas de tenis, por ejemplo. Les pillaron porque hicieron mucho ruido, barullo, jaleo. Again, this is one that we looked at, I would say, within the last week or so. And it's one of these that I wrote down and I told you guys, I said, you need to know this one because we're going to look at it. Well, I kept my word. So tienen un chanchullo barra estafa donde venden raquetas. Les pillaron porque hicieron mucho ruido, barullo, jaleo. Okay? You've got to use the same word 3 times in this triple trouble. Also, let me give you today's Say What soundbite. You're going to get it right now for the 4th and final time. As I see, it's a tough one, but don't worry. We'll reveal it at the end of the show today. Here it is for the 4th time.
So that's what this is all about? Fucking robbery?
Put down the gun.
Why'd you have to nuke the whole building, Hans?
¿Te gustaría abrir puertas a nuevas oportunidades y estar listo para cualquier desafío? Con el máster de inglés del Grupo Vaughan podrás transformar tu futuro. Este programa intensivo te ayudará a dominar el inglés profesional, perfeccionar tu comunicación y ganar la confianza que necesitas para conseguir tus objetivos. Nuestros profesores Vaughan especializados te prepararán para afrontar en inglés todas las situaciones de comunicación en un entorno profesional. No dejes que el inglés sea una barrera. Invierte en tu futuro con el máster de inglés profesional del Grupo Vaughan. Llámanos al 91-133-5833 o entra en grupobaugan.com.
That's right, folks. Our master's program. Check it out. All the information is at grupovon.com. Also, if you're following us on social media, then you'll know what we want you, or I should say, what marketing wants you to know. And they're the ones who know about the special deals and say, oye, estamos haciendo una promoción. So if you want to know about all that stuff, I mean, I try and stay in the loop, mantenerme al tanto, but I've got a million other things on my mind. But whenever I can, I try and bring those to you. In fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, you might have some time still. Don't quote me. But if you go to the website, in fact, I think there's a pop-up. If I go to Grupo Von, I can tell you right now. Grupo, well, I practice what I preach. Practico lo que predico, as we say. Grupo Vaughan, hora de la verdad. No falta, ¿dónde está el pop-up? Oh, okay, pues no. There's no pop-up. Well, yesterday I saw it. I don't know if the offer is still going on. I know it's in its last hours, if it is, but there's a 70% discount. There is, or there was. Again, if it's too late, well, stay tuned for the next one on our cursos online de Auto Studio. Check it out. All right, let's go on over here. Born to Ironman's participating in our Triple Trouble, and he says they're running a racket. Very good. Selling tennis rackets. Very good. They got caught because they made too much racket. Well, como es contable, because they made a racket, yo diría. Too many No, they made too. Es que suena raro el too much. Entonces te voy a quitar el too much porque mucho ruido ya viene implicado en eso. So no hay que poner too much. Por eso a lo mejor me suena un poco raro. But excellent. Wow. Freaking amazing. They're running a racket. De hecho, si vas a un juicio, it's racketeering. A lot of mafia guys, mobsters, they go away, van a la prisión for racketeering, llevando un negocio ilegal. También se dice, they're running a racket. Muy bien, el verbo ahí también. They're running a racket selling tennis rackets. They got caught because they made a racket. Porque hicieron mucho ruido, mucho jaleo, mucho barullo. Excellent job. Let's see. Las lavadoras says they have a business racket. Lo único, cuidado con la palabra business, 2 S al final, 1 al principio. Es un error muy común. Okay, so business, 2 S al final, 1 al principio. They have a business racket. They sell rackets, right? Hay que poner ese para que tenga sentido. They caught them because of the racket. All right, excellent job. Hell yeah. Triple trouble. So yeah, we looked at that one recently on the show. All right, up next, we're going to hear from some more students in our question of the week. Up next, we've got the lovely Nuria.
Morning, Alberto and Segundo
Morning.
Namers. It's Nuria speaking.
Great to hear
What's
from you.
crack-a-lacking?
What's
Well,
crack-a-lacking?
Let's get the ball rolling.
What's crack-a-lacking? Let's get the ball rolling. I love it. You sound native already.
So, this week's question is not a tough nut to crack,
No es un hueso duro, a tough nut to crack.
honestly. How come? Because, without no doubt, the first thing I do when I get home from a trip is
¿Trip o trip? Si hay algo que vamos a aprender hoy es cómo decir la palabra trip.
to answer a call of nature. I mean, go to the toilet.
She answers the call of nature. That means to go to the bathroom, to go to the toilet. And there's nothing like your own bathroom, like your own toilet. It's true. It doesn't matter. I think it was Alberto who said, I don't care if it's a 5-star hotel. It's not better than my bed.
Wash my hands, and then,
I'm glad you wash your hands, Nuria. Thanks for confirming.
depending on the time of the arrival, grab a bite to eat.
Grab a bite to eat. Qué nativo. Picotear algo. I grab a bite to eat. Wow, Nuria.
Or unpack right away. Putting all dirty clothes into the hamper,
The hamper is la cesta de la ropa. Good word.
and after everything is uncluttered, I put my feet up.
Oh, that's the best.
Oh, well, that's all, folks. Take care, amigos. Thank you.
Me relajo. I put my feet up. Wow, Nuria. Lots of totally natives in there. Excellent job. You sounded confident and you made me laugh, which is, that's a key there. Right? You're like, I go to the bathroom. When nature calls, dijo, I answer the call of nature and I wash my hands. Thanks for clarifying. All right, let's continue with Chris Valrol.
Hiya, show with the namers.
Hiya.
It's Chris Valrol.
What's up?
The first thing I do when I get home after a trip is
¿Has oído cómo lo ha dicho Chris? ¿Ha dicho trip o trip? Wow, Chris, congrats.
well, it depends on the time of the day, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
But I usually drop my bags,
Drop, dejar las maletas, los bolsos.
put on my slippers.
Put on, muy bien la pronunciación, put on, no put on. Right? Put on suena como otra cosa. I put on, es como una D más que una T. I put on, una D o una R en español. Put, I put on my slippers, las zapatillas de casa.
And I turn on the main water stopcock.
Sure, that's the thing too. If you go away for a long time, it's good to, turn off the circuit breaker, the fuses, no, lo eléctrico, and the water main. So yeah, that's something that's important too. If you do that, just to avoid any weird situations with electricity or water, you don't want to come back to your house flooded, inundado.
Depending on how much water I've drank and how long the ride was, I go to the bathroom.
Hey, that is a privilege to go to the bathroom in your own bathroom. It's priceless.
Then I start unpacking and squaring away the clothes for the laundry.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's dinner time. Then I prioritize dinner.
Sure.
And afterwards, I relax and rest. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Like Nuria, you put your feet up. You let your hair down. But first things first. Lo primero. First things first, you want to kind of get situated. You want to get settled. I think Alfonso said that word, to get settled. Acomodarte, no? Say, okay, welcome back home. I'm back. All right, excellent job, Chris. And Chris, you were the first one to say the word trip beautifully. No trip, trip. All right, up next, we've got Marisol.
Hi, it's Marisol.
Hello.
The first thing I do when I get home after a trip
¿Trip o trip? Bueno, ya lo sabemos.
is definitely tidy up my luggage. I
To-
cannot leave them undone, so I have to take them off from my luggage.
To unpack. Yeah, I have to unpack, tidy up, limpiar.
Put them to wash them, and then because I might feel it's not right if I leave it there, then when I get home, even though I might feel drowsy,
Drowsy. Drow. Ow. Drowsy.
because it's late or it might be early, but I was traveling all night.
Well, traveling makes you tired. Doesn't matter if it's a 45-minute flight. You get dehydrated by going in a plane. Do you know that? Even if it's a 45-minute flight, drink a lot of water. So it's natural. Even if you're not going between time zones, franjas horarias, it can still be very tiring. The whole airports are not really relaxing places, are they? Or train stations for that matter.
But then I get home energetic and hectic, and then I prefer just leave everything done, and then I can get rest and feel calm down. Don't need to think about the tidy up everything because I might feel lazy later. Greetings to our show in emails. Bye.
Traducción. You get it out of the way. Creo que todos podéis decir, I get it out of the way. I get the laundry out of the way and the unpacking. I get the meal out of the way, lo quito en medio, right? The things that you have to do. So you're not putting them off, aplazándolos. All right, excellent job. And last, but certainly not least, Anix and her birds.
Hey guys, this is Anix.
What's up?
As soon as I get home from a trip, I'm basically
Trip.
sprinting to the shower, like I've just run a marathon.
Mhm.
Then I dive into the fridge like I'm about to win a food eating trophy.
Trophy.
And finally, I kind of pretend to unpack. But let's be real.
I pretend.
It usually waits
Finjo.
till the next day. Okay, guys. Bye-bye.
Also, like many of you said, it depends on what time you get home, right? Excellent job to all of our students who participated. That's Alberto Alfonso, Born to Ironman, Nuria, Chris Valrol, Marisol, and Anix. I hope you'll participate next week when we do it on Wednesday. It'll be on Wednesday's show, and we're going to be talking about if you believe in soulmates, medias naranjas. All right, it's time to go to a lovely place, the movies. Name that movie. All right, here we go. We don't have much time, so we're going to breeze through this. A married man's one-night stand comes back to haunt him when that lover begins to stalk him and his family. Hey, we looked at the word stalk. Acechar, acosar. Right? Stalk, walk, talk. Lo vimos en el homophones. So, a married man's one-night stand. El rollo de una noche de un hombre casado. A one-night stand se llama. A married man's one-night stand comes back to haunt him. Vuelve a tormentarle, a perseguirle, to haunt, como un fantasma. When that lover, esa amante, begins to stalk him and his family. All right? The movie is, I'll give it to you because we don't have much time, Fatal Attraction. Oh, peliculón. Fatal Attraction. It's a movie that came out in 1987. It stars Michael Douglas and Glenn Close. Great movie. It's a creepy movie, of course. And Alex says, and she says, "Hello, Dan. Are you surprised? This is what you've reduced me to. A esto me has reducido. I guess you thought you'd get away with it. Supongo que piensas que salías de rositas, ¿no? Que no iba a haber consecuencias. To get away with something is no hubo consecuencias. You say, salir de rositas, si no me equivoco? So I guess you thought you'd get away with it. Well, you can't. Because part of you is growing inside of me. And that's a fact, Dan. And you'd better start. Más te vale. You'd better. You had better, pero se contrae. You'd better start learning how to deal with it. Afrontarlo. Because, you know, I feel you. Te siento. I taste you. I think you. I touch you. Can you understand? Ooh, can you? I'm just asking you to acknowledge, okay? Acknowledge, this is a great word, to accept your responsibilities, right? Is that so bad? ¿Es tan malo lo que pido? I don't think so. I don't think it's unreasonable. And, you know, another thing is that you thought that you could just walk into my life. Pensabas que podías entrar casualmente en mi vida and turn it upside down y volcarlo, darle la vuelta, without a thought for anyone but yourself, sin pensar en nadie o tener un pensamiento en nadie menos tú mismo. As I said, the best way to describe it is creepy, stalker vibes, como se dice in English. All right, folks, the movie was Fatal Attraction. It's time to move on, though, because we've got some birthdays to celebrate. That's right, folks. Welcome to Famous Birthdays here on the show with no name. Here we go. The first person was born today in the year 1953. He was, because he passed in 1985, an American singer, songwriter, and musician. He was the original guitarist and founding member of the B-52s. You know the B-52s? El Chiringuito del Amor? Love Shack, baby, Love Shack. Love Shack, baby, Love Shack. I got me a car. It's as big as a whale, and it's about to set sail. Well, this guy is, or was, I should say, the guitarist and founding member of the group, the B-52s. Number two, this woman was born in 1947, probably one of the most talented actresses, living actresses. She's been in so many movies. She was in The Big Chill, The Natural, excellent movie, by the way, The Natural, si no lo has visto. Fatal Attraction. You mean the one we just looked at? Yes, that one. Dangerous Liaisons, Mars Attacks, 101 Dalmatians, where she played Cruella de Vil. So yeah, she's been in everything. And last but not least, should I just say his most famous character? John McClane. You call it Glass Jungle. Siempre me río con esa traducción. Jungla de cristal. Okay, but it's called Die Hard, que significa a muerte y difícil de matar. O sea, tiene doble significado en inglés. Pero eso, bueno, al traducirlo han pasado de eso. Da igual, tú llámalo jungla de cristal. Muy literal. Okay, fine, but it's Die Hard. All right. So, yes, The Last Boy Scout, Pulp Fiction. He was in The Expendables and so many more movies. We always, we talked about him recently because we were saying how my friends in Almeria pronounce his name. Yes, I'm talking about Bruce Willis. Bueno, Bruce Willis. So, yes, number one, Ricky Wilson from the B-52s. Number two, Glenn Close. And number three, Bruce Willis. And that's going to bring us right over to our Say What soundbite. This is Bruce Willis, kidding, Bruce Willis. And he says to Hans Gruber, the bad guy, he says, so that's what this is all about? A fucking robbery? O sea, todo este tinglado es por un robo? So that's what this is all about? A fucking robbery? And then Hans tells him, put down the gun. Deja el arma. Deja la pistola. Put down the gun. And then he says, why did you have to nuke? Que viene de nuclear. Nuke. N-U-K-E. Why did you have to nuke the whole building, Hans? Porque tenías que explotar todo el edificio, Hans. So here it is, birthday boy Bruce Willis.
That's what this is all about? Fucking robbery?
Put down the gun.
Why'd you have to nuke the whole building, Hans?
All right, folks. Wonderful job today. Excellent job, as always. We're going to say goodbye with the B-52s and Love Shack, baby, Love Shack. Love Shack, which is El Chiringuito del Amor. Thank you so much, my amigos. It's been an absolute pleasure. Come on. Here we go. Say you made it sign at the side of the road. It says, to the